It was supposed to be the happiest night of her life. Emily Hart stood on the stage, dressed in her cap and gown, delivering a heartfelt valedictorian speech that moved parents to tears and made classmates cheer with pride. She had earned this moment through sheer determination, rising from heartbreak and hardship to become the shining light of her class. Her parents, Diane and Mark, smiled with pride, clutching each other's hands as they watched their only daughter step into her future. Emily had a full scholarship to veterinary school, dreams of opening an animal rescue, and a heart full of hope. But just hours after that celebration, Emily disappeared. Her car was discovered parked on the edge of town near the ruins of an old textile mill, engine cold, door ajar, phone on the seat. No signs of a struggle. No trail to follow. No answers. She had simply vanished. Detective Ray Morris was the first officer on the scene. At 59, he was 2 years from retirement, and he had seen his share of disappearances, but something about this case sank its claws into him from the start. Emily wasn't the type to run away. She was grounded, responsible, and deeply loved. The night she went missing, she'd hugged her parents goodbye, promised to meet her best friend Casey for breakfast, and texted her coach about summer training. Her life was full of plans. And just like that, it was gone. The investigation swept through the town like a wildfire. Search parties combed through the forest, the lake, the hills. Drones scanned the area. Her face went up on posters, news broadcasts, social media feeds. There were rumors, a secret boyfriend, a nervous breakdown, even whispers of suicide. But no proof. No evidence. Just the pink glow of her phone screen left behind like a silent scream. Months passed. Then years. Emily's parents aged overnight. Diane stopped decorating for holidays. Mark began sleeping on the couch, closer to the door, just in case she came home. Casey, her lifelong friend, couldn't bear to attend college without her and dropped out after her first semester. The community tried to move on, but Millfield never felt the same. The laughter at school events was quieter. The track team never filled her spot. Ray Morris kept the case file on his desk long after he was asked to close it. Even after retirement, he couldn't let go. Something told him Emily's story wasn't over. Far from Millfield, in a grim shelter outside Chicago, a German shepherd named Max was curled into a tight ball, his ribs visible beneath a mangled coat. He had survived a dogfighting ring, barely. Most dogs rescued from that nightmare never recovered. They became fearful, aggressive, broken. But Max was different. Officer Lena Rios saw it the moment she looked into his eyes. He was injured but alert. Wounded but unyielding. She spent months gaining his trust, training him slowly, building his confidence. Eventually, he passed the K-9 unit's trauma response trials with astonishing instinct. Lena started calling him the old soul in a soldier's body. Max had something to prove. And so did Lena. When the department launched a cold case reinvestigation program using specialized K-9 units, Ray jumped at the chance. He asked to reopen Emily's case, not for protocol, but for peace. Diane and Mark gave him their blessing. And on the 6-year anniversary of Emily's disappearance, Ray, Lena, and Max returned to the broken-down textile mill for one final sweep. The factory had been condemned long ago, its walls crumbling, its insides dark and unstable. Max sniffed the air with focus, then pulled hard toward the far end of the basement. There, behind a half-collapsed wall of old bricks, Max began barking and clawing at the rubble with force. Ray and Lena rushed forward. With the help of flashlights and a crowbar, they uncovered a hollow section behind the wall, a space someone had clearly tried to seal. Inside was a dusty pink suitcase. Max sat beside it, tail still, eyes alert. Ray opened the case with trembling hands. Inside were worn running shoes, a tarnished locket with a baby photo, a folded graduation sash, and a journal. The pages were smeared and yellowed, but still legible. The entries inside turned Ray's stomach. She said I reminded him of someone. I heard voices today. I screamed. No one came. He promised to let me go. He lied. If someone finds this, please tell my mom I didn't give up.
Forensics confirmed it was Emily's handwriting. DNA on the suitcase and surrounding bricks matched her.
And finally, a fingerprint belonging to Ronald Drexler, the school's former janitor.
Ray remembered interviewing him. Quiet. Polite. Said he barely knew Emily. No priors. No red flags.
But after his death 2 years earlier, his farmhouse had gone up for sale and investigators now had a reason to search it. What they found there haunted them: women's clothing, missing posters, underground rooms.
And photos of Emily. Dozens. Taken without her knowing.
Some dated weeks after her disappearance.
But no body. No sign of what had happened to her after that. The journal hinted at something else. A plan. An escape. I think I found a way out. He sleeps too heavily. I have to try. A final page, running tonight. If I don't make it, I tried. If I do, tell them I love them. That was the last entry. Suddenly, hope was reborn. Ray pushed the department to reopen the case fully.
Lena worked with Max to analyze scent traces, now degraded but still present in some of Drexler's old possessions. Meanwhile, tips began to resurface. A woman remembered seeing a hitchhiker with a scar across her shoulder in Idaho. A nurse in Utah recalled treating someone with dissociative trauma who left before giving her name.
Nothing concrete. Until a traffic cam outside a grocery store in rural Oregon captured a brief, blurry image: a woman helping an elderly lady across the road. Her face was turned just enough for facial recognition to do its job. 89% match. It was Emily.
Authorities followed the lead to a quiet valley town, home to an animal sanctuary called Whisper Grove. There, under a new name, working as a volunteer for nearly 4 years, was the girl everyone had thought was gone forever.
Emily Hart had survived.
She had fled Drexler's trap through an underground crawlspace, wandered through the woods for days, hitched rides across states, and eventually found herself drawn to the one place that felt safe: an animal rescue.
They didn't ask questions. They didn't expect answers. They just gave her space. And love. When Lena brought Max to the sanctuary, Emily froze. Then her eyes welled up. She dropped to her knees, held his head in her hands, and whispered, "You found me." Max whined gently, then leaned into her chest.
That image of a girl thought lost and the dog who uncovered her truth spread like wildfire.
News crews came. Donations poured in. But Emily stayed quiet. She wasn't ready to tell the full story. Not yet.
She returned home slowly, one step at a time. Her parents met her at the airport, unable to speak, only able to hold her. Casey rushed to her side, sobbing. The town of Millfield held a candlelight vigil, this time not for mourning, but for welcome.
Emily gave a brief statement weeks later. "I don't want to talk about the pain," she said. "I want to talk about the light that saved me. The animals. The people who kept looking. And the dog who dug through a wall to give me back my name."
Emily now runs her own rescue organization. She named it Max's Mission.
It specializes in training trauma recovery dogs and search K9s.
She also created a scholarship in her brother's name for students who want to study animal therapy. She never forgot the years she lost, but she chose to spend the rest of her life helping others find their way back from the dark. If this story touched your heart, if Max's loyalty, Ray's persistence, or Emily's courage meant something to you, please like this video, subscribe to Pawsitive Tales, and share this story with someone who needs a reminder that light still exists in this world.
Special request: comment below if you believe no one should ever be forgotten. Let us know which moment in Emily's journey moved you the most. We read every message.